Good morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela, and we are the Castros.
We bring you the news.
And the views that make you think.
Sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we don't.
This is News and Views.
And here are today's headlines.
The Senate promises a fair impeachment trial for Vice President Sara Duterte. But Senate President Cheese Escudero reiterates that there's no need to rush.
COMELEC urges candidates to protect the environment during the campaign period. But how can they do that when campaign paraphernalia is already scattered everywhere?
Severe flooding hits Palawan due to shear line on the weekend. In some areas, floodwaters reached rooftops.
And in sports, Ginebra and Rain or Shine advance to the PBA semis.
Will the Senate act on Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment while on break? For Senate President Cheese Escudero, there is no need to rush the impeachment proceedings. Senator Joel Villanueva, who will serve as one of the judges in the impeachment trial, supported Escudero's stance. But Senator Coco Pimentel proposed incorporating legislative matters into a special session. This way, according to Pimentel, they can tackle Vice President Duterte's impeachment.
Kaya nga ang idea ko, if the President will call for a special session, lagyan na rin natin ng legislative matters para gumalaw yung ibang renash namin. Kasi masyadong na-rush yung iba eh. So we will be given more time as far as legislative matters are concerned, and then we can formally convene, make the necessary, adopt the necessary resolutions to formally convene as an impeachment court.
Meanwhile, former Senator Franklin Drilon said President Bongbong Marcos has the authority to call Congress to a special session to tackle the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. Here's a report.
President Bongbong Marcos can call for a special session for the Senate to tackle the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. That's according to former Senate President Franklin Drilon. He stressed that the President's power to call a special session is beyond challenge, even by the Supreme Court.
Ang kapangyarihan ng Pangulo upang tumawag ng special session ay hindi po pwedeng limitahan sa pagtatalakay lamang ng saligang batas. Yan po ay kapangyarihan ng Pangulo. It cannot even be questioned in the Supreme Court. At yan po ay gagalangin ng Korte Suprema. At ito ang pagtawag ng Pangulo ng special session ay upang maggampanan ng Senado ang kanilang tungkulin na lilitisin ang impeachment complaint dahil po nakalagay sa saligang batas. The Senate shall forthwith tackle and work on and act as an impeachment court. So, hinihimok ng ating saligang batas na agad mag-convene ang impeachment court.
Drilon added that it is the responsibility of lawmakers to address impeachment complaints regardless of whether it is campaign season.
Tungkulin ng mga mambabatas na tatalakayin ang impeachment complaint, kampanya man o hindi, hindi kasi sinasabi sa batas, sa ligang batas na pag may kampanya, hindi kayo pwedeng magkaroon ng impeachment trial. Kaya yan po ang kanilang tungkulin at sa akin po dapat gampanan kahit may halalan.
Meanwhile, former Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio explained that even if the Senate is on recess, it can convene a special session to immediately begin the impeachment trial to the Vice President. This process would require the Senate to formally request a special session from President Marcos. Carpio also noted that amending the 2025 General Appropriations Act could be a key factor in enabling the call for a special session.
Ang suggestion ko, ang premise natin, the President can call a session to ask Congress to enact an urgent law. There is an urgent bill yung amendment to the General Appropriations Act. Hindi gawin yan. And then, sabihin niya, okay, I will give you 20 days or 25 days to convene in a special session. Madali naman lang i-amend yung GAA. Siguro, isang session day lang yon. So may extra sila na mga 24 days.
Opo.
So, kahit na 20 days, kaya na yun eh. So they can now convene as a impeachment court. So tingin ko pwede pag talagang if there is a will.
Yan ang keyword. Tingin ko, pwede.
There's a will, there's a way.
Alam mo, simple kasi yan. Ang sinasabi nila, sayang daw ang resources if you are going to paparequest ka ng special session and that yet, ang itatakal yung agenda is sa Supreme Court.
Yes.
Ginagamit ang dahilan ni SP Chis Escudero is hindi naman special yung Vice President na yan
Yes.
Regular lang naman na ano yan, just like an impeachable officer. So, ang sinasuggest ni former Senator Franklin Drilon, magsingit ka ng ibang agenda.
oo.
Pati kay
Actually, that's what Senator Coco Pimentel has also said
Yes.
During her
He had some
different
suggestions
interviews,
also, eh.
Di ba sabi niya, sige, kasi yung ngayon sinasabi ni Senator Chis Escudero, ay yung sinasabi na pwedeng mag-call ang presidente ng
Yes.
special session sa Congress at ialawang ang Senate na mag-convene sa special court or impeachment court. Sabi ni Senator Chis Escudero, hindi po pwede kasi ang ginagawa lang naman yung ganyang hakbang kapag may mga importanteng batas na dapat talakayan. So sinabi ni Senator Coco Pimentel, sige, titalakayan natin balikan natin iba pang mga batas. And for former Associate Justice Carpio, sinabi niya pwede rin pag-usapan doon yung tungkol sa 2025 national budget. In a way, 'di ba, nakapag-convene sila as a legislative court and an impeachment.
correct. Plus yung statement ni SP Chis Escudero, sinasabi na hindi daw special na just another common impeachment
Yeah,
official.
oo.
A lot of, it doesn't sit well with a lot of investors because, okay, yung Chief Justice maybe wala siyang epekto masyado sa ekonomiya ng bansa. But the Vice President, with a cloud of impeachment sitting on top of her, spells a lot of issues with investors coming in. Di ba yung investors' trust and confidence? Teka lang, what's happening? Volatile. Magpapasok ba ako ng pera? What's gonna happen if nagkaroon ng gulo during the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte? Because we all know yung dalawang pamilya nag-aaway. Di ba? So yung investors, medyo may agam-agam na pumasok at magpasok ng pera dito. If they do not tackle this issue. Number two, the Vice President is the second highest official in the land. So this has to be resolved immediately para magkaroon na ng finality. Are we going to keep her or not? May stability ba tong yung Philippine political climate? Should I bring in money? Madaming issues dyan.
That's right. Kaya nga, sinasabi natin, labanan ito ng legalidad, labanan ito ng mga lawyers sa
kasi
kanya-kanyang interpretasyon
labanan ng
Pero
mga-
on the side of Senator Chis Escudero, talagang matigas siya saying na we will proceed as ano yung rules dito sa amin.
Well,
Hindi kami magmamadali because late na rin naman daw na ibigay ng Kongreso yun sa kanila. And kung ano yung rules of procedure nila, that's what they're going to do.
They're always allowed their own interpretations because the impeachment trial is a political process in nature. But kung may mga questions sila, then they can ask for precedence, magkaroon ng precedence by going to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, oo, yun. Pero yun nga yung sinasabi nila dito, di ba? Yung Article 9 dun sa ating Constitution, Section 3. Chinek ko yan, no? Kasi yung trial daw by the Senate should proceed forthwith. Meaning, to proceed without delay.
Forthwith,
Yun
oo.
yung sinasabi din nila, former Justice Carpio, na kailangan dinggin na ngayon kasi may reklamong inihain.
Ang problema, gray area is forthwith.
Oo.
What does forthwith mean? Pwedeng sabihin ng iba, forthwith can mean 30 days. Di ba? Interpretation na naman kasi yan. Walang definite na nakalagay. Dapat pagkuha ng Senado, mag-convene kayo in the impeachment court in less than 24 hours. Wala naman direktang ganyan Kanya-kanyang interpretasyon yan
Yeah, that's why, in the words of Senate President Chis Escudero, we will abide by our rules. At saka
Correct.
sabi niya ganun, kahit daw na siya ay lawyer, ay mag-aaral pa rin siya. And he encourages others also
That's good.
doon sa, yung kabilang doon sa Senate court, o impeachment court na magiging jurors, ay mag-aral din dahil sabi niya ganun, masalimuot nga itong tatahakin nila by the time na gagawin nila itong impeachment
because it's the
trial.
first time in history
sitting
that a sitting
Vice
Vice
President,
President
rather.
is going to be subjected to an impeachment trial.
Yeah,
Court,
yeah.
di ba?
Oo. Kasi we all know naman, in the past, we had an impeachment trial before kay...
Corona.
Yes.
Chief Justice.
Chief Justice Corona.
Oo.
And then, pagkatapos naman nun, kay former President Joseph Estrada na hindi naman
Nauna
natuloy.
naman si Era. Pero he was never convicted in the impeachment
Hindi,
court. Oh. Kaya
hindi.
ang conviction niya came from the Sandigan Bayan.
That's right. So, may mga iba rin mga school of thoughts na nagsasabi na is there a way for VP Sara, 'di ba, to surpass all of this? Other legal opinions are saying na pwede siya
Mag-resign ka.
mag-resign. 'Di ba? Para maiwasan niya yung matakasan niya yung
Pero
yung
sabi ng iba, if she does that, baka
Impeachment
bumaba yung numero niya. Pero let's go on to other news. Several areas in Palawan were flooded due to rains brought by the shear line over the weekend. Floodwaters entered homes in Barangay San Pedro, Puerto Princesa. The downpours also turned some roads into rivers. In response, the Coast Guard Palawan deployed personnel to assist in low-lying areas. Meanwhile, in the town of Nara, the police launched search and rescue operations for stranded residents in Barangay Elvita. Pagasa warned of moderate to heavy rains in Palawan until today, February 10.
Now, to get the latest on the weather, we have Alzar Aurelio on the line. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Good morning po sa ating lahat.
Sir, some
Opo,
areas of the country po, no, nakita po natin, particularly in Palawan, ito po ay nabaha dahil nga daw po dito sa shear line. Hanggang kailan po ba ito magpapaulan sa ating bansa?
Yes, mga isa o dalawang araw pa tayo makakaranas ng maulan na panahon. Sa mga kababayan po natin na narasan ng matinding pag-ulan at pagbaha dahil sa shear line. Sa ngayon, yung shear line naapektuhan itong malaking bahagi ng Southern Luzon at Eastern Visayas. And then, kung magtuloy-tuloy ito, by Wednesday or Thursday, start na po mangbubuti ang panahon, lalo po sa mga kababayan po natin, sa lugar na nakaranas o na naapektuhan ng matinding paulan na nagdulot ng pagbaha o pagguho ng lupa.
Para medyo malinaw lang, no? What specifically pala part ng bansa ang maapektuhan nitong ITCZ at Amihan? Tsaka anong epekto nito sa mga temperatures na nararanasan natin ngayon?
Una sa lahat, wala po tayong ITCZ, shear line at Amihan ang nakaka-apekto sa
Okay.
bansa. Ang shear line po naapektuhan ang Southern Luzon and Visayas. And Amihan naapektuhan itong malaking bahagi ng Luzon kasama Metro Manila. Sa makatawid, inaasahan natin malamig na panahon dulot ng Amihan sa Metro Manila at din po sa Northern Luzon at Central Luzon. At sa mga kababayan na maulan na sa mga kababayan po natin sa lugar sa Southern Luzon and Visayas, lalo po sa eastern section nito, ay maulan na panahon. So patuloy pa rin tayo mag-ingat dahil na natin may banta ng pagbaha o pagguho ng lupa.
Sir Aurelio, kasi parang this is something unusual for us na ganitong panahon, January, may mga binabaha tayong mga lugar dito sa ating bansa. Aside from that, may mga inaasahan pa ba tayong mga bagyo pa o mga low pressure area this coming week? At ilang bagyo pa ba yung ating inaasahan po na dadaan po sa ating bansa ngayong taon?
Well, po is unusual dahil abnormal kung tawagin na dahil naapektuhan pa rin tayo ng El Niño. And then for this month, February, maaaring po isang bagyo o wala tayo nasa.
So just be ready na lang, no? Just in case.
Just in case. Pero ang katanungan ng karamihan, when do we expect yung temperatures na unti-unti na iinit? All over NCR, tsaka specifically madami nagpaplano ng trip to Baguio. Hahabol daw, may pag-asa pa daw makaranas ng magandang amihan.
Unang tanong nyo, magkanang iinit na panahon o pagtaas ng temperatura, by Wednesday o Thursday, gaganda ang panahon sa malaking bahagi ng bansa. And ayun, doon po sa mga araw na pwede na pong, kahit kayo, kung nagbabalak na bakasyon pumunta sa Baguio o sa mabandang Northern Central Luzon, pwede po, maiwasan na po sa may eastern section doon dahil maulan. Pero gusto nyo pong pumunta sa may Cagayan, Isabela, Aurora, ang maganda po sa araw ng Miyerkules o Huwebes.
Dun sa mga pag-ulan na nabanggit nyo po, sir, may mga ba tayo, gale warning?
Meron tayong gale warning doon sa buong seaboard ng Northern Luzon, buong seaboard ng Central Luzon, Eastern seaboard ng Southern Luzon at ng Visayas po.
Alright, sa Metro Manila, medyo may maulan ba this week? Asahan namin.
Ngayon ay medyo maganda panahon, alas buong araw, ngayon at bukas maulap ang kalangitan at may chance na mga mahihina o sa naman yun ng pag-ulan. Then starting Wednesday ay mas puting-ting na panahon kumpara ngayon.
Alright.
So, by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, mas maganda panahon yung nasa natin.
Okay. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Thank you for the updates. That was Alzar Aurelio of Pag-asa.
Coming up, supporters of Vice President Sara Duterte are not backing down as they hold a candlelight event to reject her impeachment.
And when we return, we will be talking to Sagip Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta regarding his recent statement on the West Philippine Sea and other issues.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on the One News.
Bilang Pilipino, bilang Pilipino.
Good morning. You're still watching News and Views.
The Commission on Elections is urging candidates to adopt biodegradable materials in their campaigns to help protect the environment. During the launch of the COMELEC's Committee on Environmentally Sustainable Elections, Chairman George Garcia emphasized that election season should not be an excuse for candidates to improperly dispose of garbage in public spaces. He also encouraged voters to push candidates to include an environmental agenda in their political platforms. The campaign period for the 2025 midterm elections will begin on Tuesday, February 11.
So under the COMELEC regulation, dapat yung mga prohibited na mga campaign paraphernalia,
Yes,
diba,
oo.
propaganda, ay dapat ay tinatanggal na at least 72 hours before the start of the campaign period natin, which is tomorrow na.
Tomorrow.
Diba? Tomorrow na yung campaign period
Saka
natin.
reminder, may mga sizes that candidates have to
Yes.
adhere to. Also, may mga designated places,
Areas, oo.
Ang hindi po sakop dito kung private space. Kunyari, bahay
Private
mo,
space.
gusto mo maglagay ng kandidato na sinusuportahan mo sa pader mo.
Yeah, hindi na
okay,
yun
wala.
mapapakailaman ng COMELEC.
Hindi-
But let's say for example, mga puno, bawal yan, di ba?
Yeah, oo.
Ano pa ba? Mga footbridge, bawal yan. Yan yung mga dapat tinatanggal na natin yung mga campaign materials dyan.
Pero
At saka yung mga biodegradable,
Biodegradable,
na
oh.
mga
Kasi
materials.
tama si Chairman George kasi every time may election na lang, tas nagki-clean up na yung MMDA, nakikita mo, tonelada ang hinahakot
Yung
nila.
mga tarpaulins.
Yung mga tarpaulin, di ba may mga suggestion noon kung saan pwede gamitin, pinamimigay sa mga tricycle, jeepney,
Yeah, o ginagawa nilang trapal ng
trapal.
sasakyan
O
nila.
kaya sa mga barangay, dinodonate nila kasi pwede nilang gawin cover sa mga ibang activities na meron sa kada barangay.
I think may nakita ko before kasi ginawa ng mga several organizations. Ginawa nilang mga bags or
Yes,
mga
oo.
parang pangpalengke.
Na-feature yun, ha? Na-feature yun noon, oo.
Para nga daw, kasi sobrang dami talagang kalat. Especially nung hindi pa nare-regulate ng ganito, di ba? Na pagkatapos ng election, apakakalat talaga ng kalsada natin dahil nga sa mga election paraphernalia.
Saka kitang-kita kung sino mga kandidato madaming kalat kasi mukha nyo nasa poster.
Totoo. Oy, pero yun din, by the time na magsimula ang campaign period, which is tomorrow, dyan na po yung magsa-start din yung bilangan ng COMELEC dun sa mga airtime ng mga kandidato, di ba? So, kapag tomorrow, 120 minutes.
TV.
Di ba, per
Tama ba?
kandidato for TV, per station.
Per network ang definition
Oo,
dyan.
yan.
Oo.
Tapos 180 naman minutes sa radio station, per kandidato, per radio station.
Ang social media, pag nag-live, wala. Unlimited daw yan.
Unlimited
Wala
yun,
tayong
mahirap
magagawa
din
dyan.
yun eh. Pero yun, tapos ito ay during the 90-day campaign period. So yung local naman, ito isa national candidates muna, no? Kasi bukas magsisimula yun. Doon sa mga local candidates, March 28 pa naman. Diba? So, yan. Diyan natin makikita. Kasi sinasabi din ni COMELEC Chair George Garcia na wag daw matigas yung mga natin. Matigas ulo.
May favorite word si Chairman George before we move on, presumption. Kaya hindi nyo pwede sabihin, sinetap ako ng kalaban. Basta COMELEC will presume na ito ang nangyari.
Exactly. Now, in other news, supporter Sara Duterte called for peace amid the Vice President's impeachment. Here's the report.
No to impeachment, yes to peace. That was the appeal of the supporters of Vice President Sara Duterte as they gathered for an indignation rally on Sunday. Supporters were seen wearing green, Duterte's campaign color, at Freedom Park on Rojas Avenue in Davao City. They took turns speaking to the crowd about rejecting Duterte's impeachment over at the House of Representatives. The event wrapped up with a candle lighting ceremony and the singing of Ka Freddy Aguilar's iconic Bayan Ko. Duterte's impeachment articles are now at the Senate after the complaint was approved by the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, Senate President Cheese Escudero maintained they will not rush the trial.
Marapat ngayon na nasimula na ito ay matapos. Matapos ng hindi minamadali. Matapos ng wala ring labis na pagpapaliban. Gagampanan at gagawin po namin ang aming trabaho na naaayon sa batas at kinikilala natin sa ligang batas.
He added that the Senate does not favor Vice President Duterte or any government official. Recall that Escudero said they may only hold the impeachment trial when the Senate resumes its plenary session by June after the elections.
Hindi po namin trabaho i-convict siya. Hindi po namin trabaho i-acquit siya. Trabaho po namin tiyakin na magagawaran siya ng hustisya. Trabaho po namin na tiyakin na magiging credible at kapanipaniwala at paniniwala ng sambayanan ng proseso.
Now we are joined by Sagip Party List Representative and Senatorial Aspirant Rodante Marcoleta.
Good morning. Thanks for joining News and Views. Kong, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hello, Angela.
Yes. Hi, Kong. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay,
it's
good.
Clear.
All right, so we would just like to ask you po muna, no, take your reaction doon sa recent impeachment complaint or impeachment process na ginawa ng House of Representatives against Vice President Sara Duterte. Based on your knowledge, ano ba yung nangyari? Meron po ba talagang nagtulak? May naglobby ng mga signatures ng ibang mga congressmen?
Hindi pa naman yun halatang halata eh.
Yes, Kong. But based on your knowledge?
Bakit naman itatransmit nila at the very day that we will adjourn Congress?
Right. But as
What does that signal? Ano ang gusto nila palabasin? What were they trying to prove?
Yeah, base po sa inyong knowledge pa rin po, no? Sino po ba yung nakita niyo po talagang nagtulak nitong impeachment complaint na ito, itong fourth impeachment complaint?
Lahat naman ng action na nangyayari doon comes from the leadership. Wala namang isang tao doon na magpapanukala. Tingnan po ninyo yung mga naunang tatlo, ni hindi man lang nila ginalaw, wala man lang na-refer sa Justice Committee, which is also one of the rules, no? Paano? Alam nila kapag sa Committee on Justice nila pinalabas yun, magtatagal yun because there will be determination of form and determination of substance. Ngayon, iniisip nila on the last day siguro, I do not know what they were trying to prove there. Pero tinransmit nila at the very day that Congress will be adjourned. Alam nilang wala ng time, di ba? Because at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the Senate already moved for adjournment.
Right.
So, ano sinabi ng Senate President? Tatalakayin on June 2. Is there a time? Wala na, di ba?
Kung alam po natin ang Mindanao ay baluarte ng mga Duterte, para base po doon sa mga pumirma nitong impeachment complaint against VP Sara, 41 out of 60 na lawmakers po na mula po sa Mindanao region ang nag-back nitong impeachment complaint na ito. What are your thoughts on that?
Dapat siguro sila yung tinanong natin, di ba? 41 of them signed the impeachment complaint. Totoo ba na nabasa nila yon? At totoo bang pinaniniwalaan nila yung grounds cited in the impeachment complaint? Ba kasi pagkatotohanan na, tinanong mo sila kung talagang alam nila yon. Because when they signed that, meron silang pinanagutan na, meron silang sinumpaan doon. They subscribe to the truthfulness of the document attached to the complaint based on their own personal information.
But
Baka isa man sa kanila, walang makasagot kung alam nila talaga yung mga dokumento behind the impeachment complaint.
Right. Pero kayo po, Kong, do you believe po that President Marcos has no hand in the impeachment of VP Sara? Tulad po nung kanya pong nasabi na kahit na po na number 1 nga po na pumirma, unang-una sa listahan, etong si Congressman Sandro Marcos.
I still would want to believe that. Kasi sinabi niya yun eh. You remember about several weeks ago, sinabi niya, this is a tempest in a teapot. It's a storm in a teapot. It is nothing. It will serve nothing. It will not even contribute to the benefit of even one life of a Filipino. I don't think the President will say that. It did not come from his heart. Ang problema, yung salita niya na yon ay hindi naman dininig ng makinaukulan.
Alright, Congressman, this is Angelo. No? May iba pa tayo ng konti. Good morning. You were quoted as saying that there's no such thing as the West Philippine Sea. What did you mean by this, Congressman, exactly? Para medyo malinaw po sa atin lahat.
Ang sinasabi ko dyan, technically speaking, yung West Philippine Sea, tayo lang ang kumikilala doon.
Yes.
Sapagkat yun ay nagsimula nung pumunta rito yung Secretary of State Hillary Clinton na siyang nagbanggit ng West Philippine Sea. So mula doon ay gumawa ng executive order yung dating Pangulong Pinoy at doon ay sinabi niya na meron tayong West Philippine Sea. Alam mo naman yung mga kababayan natin, imbes na pakinggan nila yung katwiran, paano kasi yung isang Commodore bigla na lang nagsalita na ako ay traitor. Saan ka naman nakakita ng Commodore na ganyan? Kung Commodore siya talaga, basahin niya yung libro kung saan nakasulat ang lahat ng karagatan dito sa planetang ito.
Yes.
Meron ba siyang mababasa ang West Philippines? Hindi ko sinasabing huwag tayong magkaroon ng ganong katawagan. Pero ang sinasabi ko, yung West Philippine Sea, ito yung exclusive economic zone. Kaya ko lang sinabi yun sapagkat nung pinatawag ang mga vloggers, ginagamit daw yung kung sino-sinong vloggers, mga fake news. At sabi ng CICC, kailangan i-educate natin ang mga Pilipino. Okay naman yun, sabi ko, tama na educate natin ang Pilipino sa komplikasyon at sa complexities ng bahagi na yan ng ating karagatan sapagkat marami ang hindi nakaka-impeach dyan. Kung magpa-vlog sila, hindi nila alam ang tuntunin at pinagmumulan, napapahiya lang tayo kasi hahanapin ng mga vloggers ng ibang bansa halimbawa, ano ba yung pinagtatalong sa West Philippine Sea? Hindi naman nakasulat yun eh. Pero kahit walang pangalan yun, Angelo, gusto kong ipakita, ipaalam sa lahat ng mamayan, kahit wag nating pangalanan yun, atin talaga yun. Yun ay ating exclusive economic zone. Ang gusto ko lang, ipagtanggol natin ang ating sariling atin nang hindi tayo emosyonal at hindi tayo ignorante. Pipilitin natin tayo lang ang gumawa ng West Philippines. Tayo nagkakaintindihan tayo. Pero
That's right.
world community, the community of nations, pagka tiningnan nila yung South China Sea, wala silang makikitang West Philippines Sea sapagkat hindi naman natin pinasulat doon sa International Hydrographic Organization.
Pero,
yun yung nagtatala talaga.
Yes.
Parang halimbawa, gumawa ka ng dictionary, pinilit mo na sa sarili mo, gumawa ka ng isang kataga, ng isang salita, ikaw lang pinilit mo i-include sa dictionary, walang kikilala doon. Ganun lang ibig ko sabihin. Yung mga kababayan natin hindi mo na itatanong kung anong pinagmulan ng pinag-uusapan. Napakaraming komplikadong issue dito sa likod niyan. Ayoko napapahiya ang Pilipino. Ayoko pinagtatawanan ng Pilipino. Kahit pangalanan natin o hindi natin pangalanan, yung exclusive economic zone, ilaban natin yan hanggang sa huling patak ng ating dugo. Atin yan.
Yun.
Pero wag tayo magpapakagago at magpapaka-ignorante. Katulad ng Commodore na yon. Hindi pala niya naiintindihan na hindi pa siya nakasulat sa mapa ng mundo ng karagatan. Hanapin niya doon at pag nahanap niya, at magkita kaming dalawa. Kung makikita niya, ipamukha niya sa akin. Kapag hindi niya nakita sa mapa ng karagatan ng mundong ito, mag-resign siya bilang Commodore sa wala siyang naiintindihan.
Ayun,
Who is this, Kong? Si Commodore Tariela po? You're talking about him?
Ano ka mo?
You're talking about Commodore J. Tariela, the spokesperson po ng PCG on the West Philippine Sea?
Yes, I'm referring to him because hindi niya naiintindihan ang pinag-uusapan sa committee hearing na kung saan nagagamit ang complexity ng South China Sea, bigla niya sinabing traitor ako.
Congressman Mark...
Meron ka bang nakitang spokesperson ng, ano ba yan, Philippine Coast Guard?
Opo.
Ang gusto kong hanapin niya sa patalaan, sa libro ng patalaan ng karagatan sa mundong ito, kung meron siyang makikitang South China Sea. Sa atin meron sapagkat tayo ginawa natin yon. Hindi ko sinasabi na ikinakailangan natin yung karagatan na yon. Atin yon kahit walang pangalan. Kaya lang, huwag tayo magpapaka-emosyonal at magpapaka-ignorante na pipilitin natin ang buong mundo kinikilala yun. Hindi po. Kahit hindi kilalanin ng buong mundo, atin yun. Yun ang aking masasabi dyan.
At least malinaw po yun, Congressman Marcoleta.
Paano yung Tariela na Commodore na yan? Yan ang bigla na lang gumawa ng vlog na sinasabing traitor ako.
Ayan. Congressman, kung...
tingnan mo. Kaya ito yung nagpapatunay na maraming hindi nakakaalam dito. Kaya nga komplikado ito. Sinabi ko nga at sinuportahan ko yung ICC at CICC na i-educate natin ang ating mga kababayan para hindi tayo napapahiya, para hindi tayo pinagtatawanan ng mga kalaban natin.
Yun. Congressman, yung West Philippine Sea na rini-refer po ng AO29 ni Pinoy, yung ano bang parts po yun? Ano ba dapat itawag natin doon kung hindi po yung actual terminology na West Philippine Sea?
Hindi, nasa sa atin yung kung gusto natin tawagin ng ganon. Pero sinasabi ko, wala pa sa patalaan sapagkat hindi pa kinakiligilala ng mga ng global mapping institution. Ito nga yung International Hydrographic Organization. Bakit hindi natin ipatala para lang makita talagang merong West Philippine Sea? Sapagkat pinagtatawanan tayo eh.
Alright,
yung mga vlogger ginagamit West Philippine Sea. Hindi naman nakalagay sa patalaan. Di ngayon hindi nila makita. I-google mo nga yung isang kalsada na Angelo, ikaw lang ang gumawa. Ikilalanin ba ng Waze kung ikaw lang ang gumawa?
Kailan po?
Ang punto dito.
Pero kung kailan po ba ulit mangyayari yung yung hearing on fake news po, yung probe on fake news para po mas maliwanagan po doon po yung inyong statement regarding this?
Ewan ko kung kailan tatawag yung TRICOM. Sila naman kasi na pinasisimulan nila ito eh. Hindi pa nila kinikilala. Dapat sana pag-aralan natin, sabi ko nga sa inyo, ano ba yung West Philippine Sea? Ano ba yung South China Sea? Ano ba yung saklaw ng international law? Ang dami nito eh.
Okay, I want to go back po kung doon sa issue pa rin po ng impeachment complaint. Nalabas na nga po, no, we've seen yung mga congressmen na pumirma po against the impeachment of VP Sara at yung mga hindi, no? Kasama nga po dito si Congressman Erwin Tulfo, Congresswoman Camille Villar and so on. And most of them po kasi sinasabi nila may mga kamag-anak sa Senate kaya hindi na sila pumirma. Kayo po ba, ano po ba yung inyong rason? Bakit hindi po kayo pumirma dito?
Wala namang batayan eh. Walang batayan. Pati proseso ng pagkakagawa niyan ay talagang questionable.
So,
ang gusto ko lamang palitawin dito, sino sa mga pumirma diyan? Ang personal diyan sasabihin sa akin pag dumating na sa pagkakataon na dinideliberate yan kung matutuloy yan. Talaga bang nakita niya yung dahilan? Talaga bang sigurado siya? Kabisado niya na yung mga batayan na ginamit mapapatunayan? Na grounds for impeachment?
Kayo po ba kung nabasa nyo?
Bibigyan kita ng halimbawa. Saan nagsimula yung sinasabi nilang graft and corruption? Yung pagsusuri nila ng confidential fund. Bakit? Sila ba yung may karapatang magsuri ng confidential fund? Isang opisina lang ng ating pamahalaan ang tinakdaan at minanduhan ng ating saligang batas. Commission on Audit lang. Hindi pa nga natapos ang Commission on Audit sa kanyang pagsusuri sapagkat audit observation memo pala, kinuha na yung mga papeles ng House of Representatives at sila yung nagpanggap na magsuri, na mag-audit. Pag dumating tayo sa punto na ganun, paano nila patutunayan? Hindi pa nga final ang report ng Commission on Audit. Kung ang Commission on Audit, initial findings pa lang, ibig mong sabihin ang House of Representatives, na walang mandato na mag-audit, silang magpapatunay na final na ito. Saan ka nakakita ng kanyang klaseng proseso? Hindi namin tungkulin ng mag-audit. The
Congressman,
House of Representatives usurp that responsibility from the COA. Ang COA nagkamali din ito because COA delegated that particular mandate to the House of Representatives. Magiging issue pa ito, maniwala ka sa akin.
Congressman, sabi po ng ibang mga kasama niyo po sa Kamara, sa Senado na lang daw, sa trial lang daw magpaliwanag yung mga ganitong issue. Kaya daw po magkakaroon ng trial.
Sinong Senado? 19th Congress o 20th Congress?
Oo. Yeah.
Anong Senado? Anong Senado ang didinig dyan? 19th Congress. Tapos na yung 19th Congress by June 30. By July 1, 20th Congress na yun. Ibig mo sabihin, sila ang titingin doon. Ang sinumiti nila is a handiwork of the 19th Congress. Ang sasalo, 20th Congress na Senado. Paano nila tatanggapin yun?
Hindi po ba continuation lang naman po, Kong?
Ano?
Hindi po ba continuation lang daw po yun, if ever?
Hindi totoo yun. Kung yun ang ini-insinuate ng Senate President, mali siya dyan. Bilang isang abogado, sasabihin ko sa kanya, nagkakamali na siya. Ikukontinue mo yung impeachment na ginawa ng 19th Congress. At ang gaganap ng tungkulin at nilitis, 20th Congress. Saan ka nakakitang pangangatwiran na yan?
Alright, Kong, siguro po panghuli na lang po, you are known ally of the Dutertes.
I am not a known ally of the Duterte. Ang ginagawa ko ay tungkulin ko para sa atin kung ano yung katwiran. Napagkakamalan ako ng gano'n, sapagkat katwiran ang akin nilalabas. I am running as an independent senator.
But sa tingin niyo po ba, may lusot itong impeachment po na ito? Or ano pa po ba ang dapat?
Paano lulusot yan? Magtatapos ang 19th Congress sa June 30. At ang susunod na Kongreso ay 20th Congress. Tatanungin ko ang Senate President, paano tatalakayin ng 20th Congress ang kagagawa ng 19th Congress? Isasabihin niya, it is a continuing activity. Palabasin niya kung anong doktrina ang gagamitin niya dyan. Bakit? Nagbago pa, ibig ba sabihin, hindi nagbago yung kagagawa ng 19th Congress? Sasabihin ko sa inyo, yung magiging prosecutors yan ay manggagaling na sa 20th Congress. Paano mangyayari yun? Ang composition and configuration of the next House of Representatives is already the 20th Congress.
That's what I'd like to touch upon, Congressman Marcoleta. Na if they start this po sa first week or second week ng June at mabibitin po itong sa 19th Congress na mga senador, ano po mangyayari?
Mabibitin nga yan sapagkat ilang araw na lang ba mula sa June 2 hanggang June 30, hindi na naman lahat yan is session day. O bibigyan mo pa ng 10 araw halimbawa na sumagot ang Vice President.
Yes.
Ibig sabihin, hindi talaga matatapos sa 30th Congress at tutuloy yon 20th Congress na. Ang tinatanong kong issue ngayon dito, tatalakayin ba ng 20th Congress ang isang impeachment na ginawa sa 19th Congress? Yan ang issue dyan. Huwag nilang sasabihin sa akin dahil nahalata ko na sila na parang itatawid nila sa 20th Congress. Maling-mali yan.
Baka naman
makakarating sa Korte Suprema yan.
Pero before, if ever makakarating sa Korte Suprema, Congressman Marcoleta, may balak po ba kayo makipag-usap kay Senate President Chis Escudero at po yung sinasabi niyong payo sa kanya?
Bakit kami mag-uusap? Wala pa namang... sabihin niya sa akin kung itutuloy niya yon. Kailangan kasi parang gusto niya sabihin kasi ayaw niya sabihin na kailangan ituloy sa next Congress. Kaya sabihin mo kung itutuloy mo sapagkat mali yun.
All right. Well, thank you very much for all your insights. I hope we could get you again to join us. Sagip Party List Representative and Senatorial Aspirant Rodante Marcoleta.
Salamat sa iyo, Angelo, Angela at si Diego kung nandyan. Maraming salamat para may pakinggan lang tayo ng ating mga kababayan sa napakaraming kamalian na ginagawa ng Congress ngayon.
Maraming salamat, Congressman. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we return, Senator Bato de la Rosa apologizes for his offensive remarks towards Akbayan Party List Representative Percy Sendanya.
And Filipino pole vaulter EJ Obiena claimed another gold medal. Anong tournament kaya ito?
Don't go away because we're not done yet. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're still watching
News and Views
on
here
One
on
News. Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa apologized for his offensive remarks towards Akbayan Party List Representative Percy Sendanya. The senator acknowledged his mistake and took full responsibility. Recall that he had mocked Sendanya's facial asymmetry caused by a stroke, suggesting he would punch his face to quote-unquote balance it. Sendanya welcomed the apology and urged Senator Bato to also apologize to all stroke survivors hurt by his remarks. Sendanya is among those who endorsed the first impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte.
So this happened kasi over the weekend, 'di ba? For context kasi syempre, pinag-uusapan pa rin dito yung impeachment versus Vice President Sara Duterte. Tapos yun nga, sinabihan ni Senator Bato de la Rosa na parang hindi daw pantay yung muka, sa pakit na lang niya.
At saka,
and then, syempre, yung mga tao talagang nag-backlash ito kay Senator Bato de la
tapos
Rosa. Sinasabi nila na
parang explanation pa ni Senator Bato is that he had a bad week. Pero alam mo,
parang ad hominem attack.
Pero, you know, that is not an excuse. He's trying to portray the Duterte brand of politics. So it doesn't work anymore. Kasi you shouldn't body shame or, di ba, you shouldn't insult yung mga persons with disabilities. Kasi
totoo yan.
it's not...
But at least he apologized. Hindi na siya nag-justify na kaya ko lang nasabi ito, etc. Sabi niya, I took full responsibility. And si Representative Sendanya naman accepted the apology and sabi niya, sige, doon na tayo ngayon sa mas importanteng pag-uusapan.
Pero ang sabi nga ng iba, alam mo, makikita mo ang ugali ng tunay na tao pag mainit ang ulo, minsan lumalabas ang ugali
or
niya.
sa isang argument, pag nagiging physical na ang atake, ibig sabihin, you're losing your argument already.
Mapipi lang siya.
Wala ka nang masabi tungkol doon sa debate o doon sa issue, i-attack mo na lang personal. Diba?
Actually,
physical attribute.
Madaming nagsasabi, pwede naman sumagot si Sendanya, Congressman Sendanya kay Bato eh.
Huwag mo na pag-awayin.
Hindi ko pinag-away. Alam mo naman ano yung sasabihin, di ba?
Ano sasabihin? Okay. All right, in other news, fewer Filipinos said their quality of life improved over the past 12 months. That's according to Social Weather Stations or SWS. The survey conducted from January 17 to 20 showed that 32% of Filipinos felt their quality of life had improved over the past year. This is a decrease from the 36% reported in a similar survey in December 2024. Meanwhile, the number of Filipinos who said their quality of life worsened slightly increased from 23% in December to 25% in January 2025. 43% said their situation remained the same, a slight increase from the 41% reported in the previous poll.
Yeah, ito yung mga ginagamit nilang argument kung bakit dapat hindi ituloy impeachment. On the other fence, on the side of the fence, ang daming issue sa quality of life. Nagreklamo pa ang tao, tapos i-impeachment nyo, di ba? On the other side naman, it's a constitutional duty of both upper and lower house to tackle this because hindi biro rin yung mga ipinupukol kay VP Sara. At lalabas naman sa trial niyan whether she's guilty or not, di ba?
Yeah.
So, these are all relevant issues that affects everyone. Mind you ang isang impeachment complaint pending in trial affects our economic outlook sa bansa.
Exactly.
Oo.
'Di ba? Sabi, nakakaano yan especially yung yung perceive ng mga perception ng mga ibang bansa sa atin na nagkakagulo.
Kasi you have to remember madaming business pledges ang binigay kay PBBM over the past 2 years to invest here. Ngayon, titignan nila yung political climate may risk index yan mataas ang risk nito.
Sila.
They're going to wait for a resolution sa
time
impeachment.
To invest?
Yeah. But we have to improve everything now. Tataas ang bilihin.
Yes, tomorrow there will be I think slight increase sa gas prices natin, if I'm not mistaken.
Magpagas na tayo.
If I'm not mistaken. Pero yun nga, dahil yan pa rin ang issue natin Of course, yung gas, di ba? Presyo ng bilihin, inflation, etc.
Alright, in other news, boxing is now a step closer towards being included in the LA 2028 Olympics. This comes after the Asian Boxing and the Olympic Council of Asia signed a memorandum of understanding. The agreement aims to improve officiating standards and create more competition opportunities for Asian boxers. World Boxing and AB Executive Board member Ricky Vargas and OCA Director General Hussein Al Musalam attended the signing. The partnership is seen as a step towards boxing's inclusion in the LA 2028 Olympics. If you
That's a
remember,
good- yeah, that's a good development.
in the last Olympics, diba, pinag-usapan nila, tanggalin na
Baka
boxing.
wala na eh.
Oh, because
Oo.
there are several issues with regards to officiating and judgment call kasi yan eh. Di ba, for example, may isang boksingero supposedly had more hits, had more solid hits. Yung isa, yung sa female category to, no? Ano daw eh, I think this was the Polish boxer. Yung madaming suntok, pero ilan lang ang tumama. Pero ang nanalo yung parang yung Polish boxer. Kasi sinasabi nila, how do we fix this? Then tanggalin muna natin at pag-aralan. But at least now, maybe they're taking a look at ways to improve it. Pati yung issue ng yung babaeng pinagkamalan na lalaki.
Oo, babae naman pala talaga.
Babae naman. So,
Pero
ang
yun
daming-
nga, no, kasi syempre dito namamayagpag kahit paano mga Pilipino.
Wala-
Tapos pag tinanggal
No,
mo
oo.
yan, mababawasan ng medalya, ng
Kasi-
chance to get a gold medal.
Kasi si Nesty Petesio wants one more run eh. Gusto niya patunayan
sana,
eh, magkaroon ng gold eh, 'di ba? Sabi
Hopefully
niya.
nga ito na yun.
Si Nesty
Tuloy-tuloy
girl,
na tayo.
Si Nesty girl. Si Nesty girl, oo.
Alright, the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters and the Ginebra Gin Kings have completed the cast for the PBA Commissioner's Cup semifinals. The Elasto Painters completed a reverse sweep against Converge in Game 3, 112-103, marking their third straight Final Four appearance. Meanwhile, Ginebra outlasted Meralco 94-87. Justin Brownlee led Ginebra with 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. With the wins, the Elasto Painters will take on the TNT Tropang Giga, while Ginebra will face Northport Batang Pier. The best-of-7 semifinals will begin on February 26 at the Smart Araneta Coliseum.
Ever reliable Justin Brownlee.
Yes.
Beloved,
Grabe, ha?
beloved Justin Brownlee.
Oo.
Aging, parang tawag nga nila kay Justin Brownlee, fine wine.
25 points, 10 rebounds, and 7
Umiidad
assists.
siya pero is aging like fine wine.
Good job.
Di ba nagkaroon para ng movement online niya, nagawin daw national hero eh.
Talaga ba?
No, remember, he hit those clutch 3-point shots sa game against China. Ako, umiyak ako nung game na yon.
Talaga.
Katabi kita nung nanonood, di mo
Hindi ka na
maalala.
maalala, oh.
Uy, well, thank you. That is our first telecast of News and Views. Thank you to all those who have joined us today. It was truly an exciting day. And with that, I'd like to leave everyone with a quote. All we can do is our best, and sometimes the best that we can do is to start over. A quote from Haley Atwell. And that wraps up today's episode of News and Views.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I am Angelo Castro III. We are One News.
All sides, all the time.